Hi everyone, this is Sammy G. I just want to say before the video starts, I'd like to say this video was recorded long while back, but I just hadn't gone around to edit it completely and upload it yet on YouTube. So, but thank you all for waiting, and I hope you enjoy this. Hello, I'm Sammy G, your guide to the latest movies. Oh, it's finally here, the sequel I've been waiting so long for to the movie that made my childhood. I am, of course, talking about Incredibles 2. Now, the first Incredibles was about a family of supers, or superhumans, struggling to maintain a normal life after they are forced to go into hiding, as the father, Bob Parr, or Mr. Incredible, voiced by Craig T. Nelson, struggles with his marriage with Helen, or Elastigirl, voiced by Holly Hunter, and is dealing with a midlife crisis, wanting to go back to the glory days, until he comes out and finds himself facing a new enemy named Syndrome. When this came out, everyone loved it, and it still holds up today, in my opinion, as not only one of the best Pixar movies of all time, but also one of the greatest superhero movies of all time. And fun for all the family. Especially the grown-ups who can appreciate the dark undertones when they grow older. Now, can this hold up to the golden standard of the original? Well, let's take a basic look at the synopsis. First of all, instead of Bob, we are now focused on Helen, who is called on to lead a campaign to bring the supers back, while Bob is now struggling to deal with normal life at home with his children Violet, Dash and Jack Jack, who is just learning his newfound superpowers. While it's happening though, a new villain emerges with a plot to ruin everything. We also get a reappearance of Frozone, voiced by the godlike Samuel L. Jackson, and of course my favourite character, Edna Mode, voiced by the director himself, Brad Bird. For those watching right now, if you suffer from epilepsy, then do not watch this movie, because there are several sequences involving rapidly flashing images that could cause seizures in people with epilepsy, so I'm giving this warning now. First off, there are a few similar elements in this movie that I have seen in the original. First off, one of the Parrs unknowingly working for a villain, an intimidating villain with very strong philosophy that the audience can relate to, Violet dealing with boy trolls, which was less in focus in the original, the government shaming the supers for their irresponsible actions, Mr. Incredible wanting to be back in action, Edna Mode obsessively designing an outfit for the Parr family, and a similar ending to the original. Now, this is not to say that the movie is lazy and just reusing material or relying on a template based on the original. It is very hard to do a sequel that does justice to the original, and when that fails, it is what we call sequelitis, when an amazing film spawns disappointing sequels. This is just me noticing a similarity in elements between both films that could just be coincidental. That being said, the story is fairly good, as it is nice to see the focus on Elastigirl for a change, and eventually get back into the thrill of being a super, since he is so used to being a stay-at-home parent and leaving behind the costume life. And it's nice to see Mr. Incredible spending more time with his children, since he didn't spend much time with his kids in the original. Unless you count the montage when he was losing weight and being more of a family person. It is nice to see the roles reversed, which people could see as trying too hard to be feminist, but they give a good explanation as to why Elastigirl is a spokesperson for the supers instead of Mr. Incredible, who creates a lot of destruction in trying to save the day, which makes sense considering in the original he caused a car to crash by using a tree he pulled from its roots, or inadvertently causing a train track to blow up. It matters not her gender, but it's nice to see a female superhero at the centre of attention, as well as seeing the struggles Bob is having being a stay-at-home parent, which in itself is an act of heroism, and very relatable to the parents and carers who tag along with their kids to watch this. However, a couple of subplots weren't exactly as good as the original. For example, Violet dealing with boy issues versus her trying to build up her self-esteem in the original. It probably could have been better if she only felt confident in the costume. Perhaps she became more secluded as Violet Parr and wanted to be out more as a superhero Violet, while Dash was feeling negative over having to contain his powers and wanted an outlet for it, kind of a metaphor for angst in teenagers in the original. Dash struggling with math homework with his father has some funny commentary on how education has changed over the years, as Bob is hilariously struggling to teach him new mathematical skills. It doesn't seem like it goes much anywhere. Not that it could, it's just part of everyday family life that Mr. Incredible has to adjust himself to. He is, after all, one of the main focuses of the Incredibles franchise. Jack Jack learning his new powers was absolutely amazing. I can't believe how many powers Jack Jack is capable of, and it's so hilarious how he uses more, especially in one scene I won't ruin, but it's just so brilliant and it goes to show he can grow up to be an amazing superhero. Edna Mode is awesome to see again, as she is my favourite, and she got a fair amount of screen time in my opinion, even though I always wish I could see a little more of her. I only wish each character from the original got a fair amount of screen time, like Frozone, who I felt didn't have as many memorable lines or outstanding scenes as the original. He was still great to see, but I just wish I could have seen a little more of that awesome Samuel L. Jackson-esque personality we saw in the original. The animation has definitely improved since the first one. The animation maintains the style of the original, whilst looking more refined as well, with a much brighter and pleasant looking colour palette, with a colour palette resembling that of a sunrise, as if the sun is rising for the supers that are fighting for change. The humour was top notch in this movie. Even if one toilet humour joke could have been left out of the script, I laughed my head off to certain parts of the movie, especially Jack impersonating Edna Mode, which made me smack my armrest in a fit of hysteria, making everyone in the cinema look right at me. It was hilarious. The soundtrack was also brilliant, with awesome orchestral pieces that used to intensify incredible action sequences, intense moments in the film. Speaking of the action sequences, there were so many to choose from, with every single one of them being better than last, from the short but awesome fist fight between Mr. Incredible and the Underminer from the first one, the epic chase sequence involving Elastigirl with a cool new Elasticycle, stopping a runaway train, and all the new supers showing off their interesting powers, like a girl that can generate portals. They were slick, fast-paced, and best of all, weren't dragged out for too long, unlike some other superhero movies. In the end, guys, Incredibles 2 is a fine sequel to check out at the cinema, and even get it on Netflix or Amazon Prime when it comes out on internet streaming. Sure, it is not as good as the original, but it serves as a satisfying sequel to the original that I grew up with, so I'm going to give Incredibles 2 an 8.5 out of 10, or an A-. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and as always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, follow me on Facebook and Twitter, and take a look at my website when you get the chance. This is Sammy G, your guide to movies, signing off.